Hello everyone, welcome to Vivek IAS Career Academy YouTube channel. Today we'll be covering a topic from Medicine and Health section, Annual TB Report 2020. This topic is important from both prelims as well as mains point of view, because TB has been asked in mains in 2012 MDR TB question, and also in state services this is one of the topics which is clearly mentioned in your PCS syllabus. So if you are preparing for PCS 2020, you will go through the prelim syllabus and you will find HIV, polio, TB specifically mentioned. So you cannot ignore this topic whatsoever level that you are preparing. So in today's lecture, first I will give you a brief overview of the annual TB report 2020. What are the key highlights? What are the positive and negatives? And then the main part, what we will try to decode TB from 360 degree. What are the causes, what are the treatment protocols, what are the vaccines available. So, because generally when some disease is in news, they do not ask the stats related to reports, but they ask the disease in question. So make sure, because I am seeing a lot of current affair websites, they have just updated the highlights of TB report, but they are silent on what TB exactly is. So I will just club both the things. First of all, whenever some report is out, like currently the annual TB report is out, the first thing you need to note is that what is the organization which is behind the preparation and publication. Since it's a national report, so here the Central TB Division has prepared and also published it. And since you know that the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is in charge of controlling these diseases, so it comes directly under it. So more or less examiner is not likely to ask the publish or preparation part from this theme, because this is quite obvious. Coming to the major highlights, this can be useful in mains as well as from pre in some way. So there are some positive aspects and there are some things which we should be concerned about. First of all, let's go to the number of cases. In 2019, the number of TB notified cases were 24 lakh. So you could see, since you are following the COVID cases, currently the COVID cases are around 4.5 lakh. So annual report highlights that there were 24 lakh notified cases in India itself. So this shows that India is among the leading countries which shares the global TB burden, which is an alarming sign. And this is not that the cases have decreased, it is 14% increase from 2018. So this is something the policymakers should ponder over, that where we are getting it wrong. Since it's a communicable disease, so it's quite obvious that the cases keeps on increasing over the years. The number of deaths reported are once again quite alarming, 79,144. So the roughly 80,000 people lost their lives through TB. So if you compare to the COVID, once again, currently 15,000 people have lost their lives through COVID as well. So this is, there was a time when TB used to be the highest killer in India as well as globally. Now it's among the top 10 killers, but still we can do a lot better than these, the stats which we are highlighting. So this is where you could just highlight that we need to do more on the TB campaign. Now there are some positive aspects as well, that number of missing cases. TB used to be quite a lot. In 2019 there were just 2.9 lakh cases which had gone and not reported. So underreporting you could say. So even though the number looks quite large, the 2.9 lakh cases are being missing, but in 2017 if you will see, there used to be 10 lakh cases which used to go underreported or they could not be notified. So this is where our system has improved. The online system which is doing the wonder is NICHE system. So you need to know that NICHE system is related to which disease primarily. So you could answer that as a team. So this is where we are improving, because once we have notified the disease, only then the appropriate treatment protocols could be carried out and patient could be followed up. So still we need to do more about this registration process, so that, because the government is spending lakhs of rupees on the awareness campaign as well. So this is another positive news is that success rate of treatment has increased to over 12%, which is a positive sign again. In Compared to 2018, the patients who were notified and the standard treatment when it was given, they have recovered. So the success rate is improving, which is a positive sign for a developing country like in India. Then Nikshay system, you have to understand, it's an information management system, and it is developed by once again the central division which functions, central TB division which functions under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and also National Information Center is involved, and World Health Organization office is also collaborating in this project so that data could be continuously monitored. So this is where the theme comes into the picture. And in recent current affair, it has been highlighted that we are not spending the provision of Nikshay. Apart from notifying, there is a provision of direct benefit transfer, DBT. So they can ask the DBT theme as well. So that because there is another provision of Nikshay which is related to giving the food as well. So Nikshay Poshan Yojana is what they are calling it. So directly funds would be transferred, so the person, apart from the medicine it's taking, it also gets nutrition. So that's a 360-degree address. And also there is a report of quarterly Nikshay magazine being launched. So that also will keep an awareness angle alive in the Indian context. Then there is from state perspective, you have to follow the state TB index. It has been launched so that states become competitive and try their best to eliminate the TB. So first of all, there are two brackets among the large states. Large states by we mean they are states which have more than 50 lakh population. So in those category, 3 states have emerged like victorious. The first one is the Gujarat. Then we have Andhra Pradesh, and the third is Himachal Pradesh. So all the students who are targeting Himachal Pradesh prelim can jot this down that Himachal is among the top performers this time. Among the small category state which have population less than 50 lakhs, it's the Tripura and Nagaland which have taken the lead. So this is quite a positive sign that in Northeast the health infrastructure, even though it's in a difficult situation, yet they are performing well. Among UTs, it's Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu which have excelled. So these factual part, generally UPSC doesn't ask, but state services, if you are preparing for the specific state, they try to glorify such things and they can be used. Then comes the main angle, the TB elimination target, because in this UPSC can ask by twisting the ears. First of all, you have to understand there is a difference between eradication and elimination. Because at times we tend to confuse both the themes. Eradication is when there is no such case anywhere in the country. So eradicating TB is going to be a Herculean task, and we cannot be so over ambitious that it can be done in near future because it's a communicable disease. But yes, the TB elimination angle states when there is less than 1 case per million of population. This is what WHO is striving developing and developed countries to achieve. So WHO target of TB elimination is 2030. So Indian government has set a deadline in the national health policy as well as in budget to eliminate TB by 2025. We have preponed it by 5 years so that by 2030 we could reach close to it. Because had it been 2030, then we would have been laggards once again, because it has been seen that the implementation challenges makes deadline achieve quite a Herculean task. So this is where you have to understand, whenever they ask about the national TB elimination target, you have to pick 2025, whereas in global it's the 2030, the WHO, the TB elimination. So this is what you have to cover in the current affair part of the annual TB report. It's more or less publicized in all leading newspapers, and by now most of you might have even jotted down the key highlights. Now let's recode the TB, tuberculosis. So this protocol will follow for almost all the diseases which are in news. That's why I have just enumerated the key categories which you should ideally note while when you are covering any disease in news, like even COVID or you say African swine fever. So first of all, the first thing is to categorize the disease, whether it's a bacterial disease or a viral, fungal or a protozoal. So in this case, you have to understand the disease is a bacterial one. So it is caused by a gram-positive bacteria, which we have to even memorize it. That's why I have mentioned the exact positive agent. Generally, the scientific names are not to be memorized for diseases, but if a disease is appearing more and more in the leading newspaper almost fortnightly or weekly basis, then it's prudent since bio or medical student science are familiar with such names, then you should also make an attempt to memorize it. And this TB causative agent is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is the name of the exact bacteria, even though the name is quite difficult, but make sure you jot it down. Mycobacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So if we go back to the history, this TB bacteria was first time isolated and discovered by Robert Koch. So even that's another thing which you could jot down. It was in 1882 that Robert Koch identified this bacteria, and in 1905 he even received Nobel Prize in medicine and physiology for this groundbreaking discovery, and rightly so, because this is one of the disease which was at that time the major disease respiratory system causing the deaths. Now coming to the nature part, whether it's a communicable or contagious, yes, it's a communicable disease. And currently you can see the COVID crisis is unfolding, so you are familiar what communicable disease means. Communicable means any person who is infected, if he is capable of transmitting to another human being, it is called the communicable one. And like in COVID case, the mode of transmission is the droplet infection. Now, what is droplet infection? Whenever a person is coughing or sneezing or even speaking, if the person is in close vicinity, say in the distance of around 1 to 2 meters, there is highly possibility that person, if he is an active carrier, he can transmit the infectious agent to the individual, and the person is likely to catch the infection. So this is where the numbers swells up, because such diseases are the most dangerous. AIDS patient is not likely to directly transmit you to the infection, because it's through blood transfusion or through sexual transmission. But in case of tuberculosis or some diseases like swine flu or even the COVID, this droplet infection is quite severe. That's why the community spread takes place quite easily in such diseases. So make sure you are picking the droplet infection as the mode of transmission. Now in general studies, even though there are two types of TB, there are the pulmonary and the non-pulmonary ones, but in general studies generally they ask about the pulmonary tuberculosis. In that case you have to pick the respiratory system, and mainly the lungs are affected. So make sure you are aware about just go through the basics of the respiratory system as well. What are the bronchi, what are bronchioles, what is the structure and function unit of lungs like alveoli. So such themes tend to get associated, and currently since COVID is also impacting this respiratory system, it's always prudent to revise the respiratory system part from there. Coming to the diagnosis, generally there was a tuberculin skin test which was carried out. It was called Montoux tuberculin test. It's a technical name generally, but the current advancements have made a current affair in news, which is called expert system. The gene expert system is a system which is helping in diagnosing TB in record times, and that's where the notification has helped in improving, because once we are able to diagnose patient at the right time, only then the treatment protocols can be carried out. So make sure the Montoux tuberculin theme is also covered. Then comes the main part, because you could see the absolute numbers are quite alarming in any case even compared to COVID. But why are we not panicking that much in case of TB? Because both prevention as well as the cure is available. So if there is a statement TB is preventable, curable, then you have to choose that statement. So vaccination is something when you are at risk, and you give it before the disease outbreak. Treatment is when person is infected, we are trying to limit the symptoms and trying to bring back patient on recovery mode. So here the treatment in Indian case, which is popular, was the DOTS, directly observed treatment short course. So this is where the free diagnosis and treatment are delivered in government facilities, and it's quite a long treatment. The first line of drugs are mainly the rifampicin, isoniazid. Make sure at least to memorize rifampicin at least, so that in names at times in current developments we will follow. There is a MDR TB which is unfolding, so we should be clear about at least one drug which is not responding at the moment. So this is what the treatment is, directly observed treatment. Vaccine is BCG. The name is once again quite technical one. It stands for Bacillus calmette-guerin. Bacillus is referring to the bacteria, and there was Albert Calmette and Guerin. They were two scientists who worked on the vaccine, so that's why to remember them, this vaccine has been named after them. So once again, if you are not able to memorize such technical names, there is no need to panic. BCG will do, because there is another vaccine called DPT or MMR which are in news, which we will cover in biology lectures. So this is a single vaccine against the single disease. Otherwise, the other two names which you have just taken, these are triple antigen vaccines. Single vaccine provides protection against 3 diseases. Like in case of DPT, it is diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. So this is where and BCG was recently in news because it was seen that persons who have been administered BCG, they were responding quite well to the COVID infection. So that's why in countries like US, Canada, this vaccine is not administered. So there was a demand that we should just go for it. But still, it is not proven that it is likely to be a major game changer, because in a way, whenever you take such vaccine, immunity boosts up because antigens are transferred. Now, in current developments, you just have to follow whenever TB is in news. Like in this case, the annual TB report was out, so you could have jotted down the current development. Otherwise, in month of March, on 24 March to be precise, there is World TB Day celebrated. In that case, the global data as well as India's performance are highlighted. So in the month of March, this topic more or less is always activated. And since prelims are in May and June generally, so most of the examiners tend to take that question as a base. So make sure in month of March you follow the TB reports and the data and update them, because this data is once again going to be updated in the month of March if you are aiming for the 2021 or 2022 exam. Apart from that, there are two themes which are always currently in news. One is MDR and the second is XDR. The MDR word stands for multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, whereas XDR stands for extensively drug resistant tuberculosis. So what is the difference? In MDR TB, the conventional first line of treatment which was being given to the patient does not yield any positive results. Patient, when he is taking the typical drug like rifampicin, he is not recovering because due to failure to complete the complete course or due to overuse of antibiotics, slowly and slowly, or due to some natural selection or mutation in bacteria, these cases are on rise. But there is no need to panic, because already there is a drug called bedaquiline, which has been specifically developed for MDR TB patients. So once again, this is after a long time some antibiotic has been developed, so that's why this technical name can be memorized. So this is a new MDR TB. In XDR TB, the all conventional treatment lines fail and the chances of morbidity increases manifold, because that's why it is called extensive, even though this is at the nascent stage at the moment. MDR TB cases are globally on rise, the superbug debate. These topics come under the broader theme of antimicrobial resistance, which is a main theme. So we will dwell on that theme in our conventional lectures, which we take in our classes. So this is what more or less you have to cover about the TB and the annual TB report 2020. So I hope you followed it. There is a practice question in the comment section which you could give it a try. For any specific queries or the things which you are not clear about this theme, you are most welcome to ask them in the comment section. All the genuine queries, I will try to address them. So thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in into once again our new channel and the support us. Have a nice day.